Hello, Aries. Welcome to Spicy Sunflower Tarot, and welcome to the month of August, Leo season. Welcome to, these are the dog days of summer. So this is going to be a removing the block spread. We're going to do specifically for the sign of Aries. If you feel like you have any blocks in your life, let's look into that. Let's look and see about Aries and any potential blocks that you feel you might have. I am using Tarot of the Mystical Moments first. And you always have free will. You never have to receive something that does not resonate with you. You can let something go and you can keep one thing and push out the others. Aries can be your sun, your moon, your rising, maybe your Venus or your Mars. So check your chart and see where you have specific placements. If you're welcome, if you're an Aries of any kind, you're welcome here. So thank you for watching. Let's take a peek. First, we're going to find out for the sign of Aries, what do you fear? What do you fear, Aries? I know you're a pretty fearless sign, but what do you fear, if anything? Like I said, if it's not your reading, you can check back next week and maybe even look at last week's reading. What does Aries fear? Oh, Two of Cups. Partnership, soulmate union, really giving yourself emotionally to another person. You know, Two of Cups doesn't always have to mean love. It doesn't always have to mean soulmate. It can be a partnership, even a business, like a joint venture where you and someone else are joining up, you're doing something together. So is there something in your life right now where it's really coming to a head that you feel like, I want this, but I'm afraid of it at the same time? Because we're looking for blocks. We're looking for things that could be blocking you from, your dream come true. Sometimes the very thing we want is the very thing we're afraid of. So just consider if Two of Cups has any relevance in that picture for you, Aries. And why are you stuck? If you feel like you could be stuck, why? Why are you stuck? We did just get out of Mercury retrograde, which tends to be a feel stuck kind of energy. But why are you stuck? There's another two. This is the Two of Swords. This is literally being stuck. The Two of Swords is, I can't make up my mind. I've got two different paths to go down. I have two different options. It is sword energy, so it has to do with your mind. It has to do with something that you just can't quite put your finger on the pulse of what gets you feeling stuck. It's your mind, not being able to make up your mind, feeling like you're of two minds. The Two of Swords is indecision at its finest, and not being able to make that call. Two of Swords is also willful blindness. So hear that again. It's willful blindness. When you are putting yourself in a position to blindfold yourself, that blindfold is not there because your hands are tied behind your back. Your hands are free. The blindfold, you put that on yourself. And I know everybody, if you've lived enough life, there have been things in your life that you've turned a blind eye to. You've not been willing to see it or look at it, or, sometimes for all intents and purposes, we're not ready to see that. We're not ready to acknowledge that. And so we put that blindfold on willingly because we're just not ready to deal with it. You know what just came to mind, if you're a fan of The Sopranos like myself? The wife in The Sopranos that was married, it was Camelia. Gosh, I cannot think of her name. If you know her name, put that in the comments. But it's Tony Soprano's wife. She always, I don't know, she seemed to know what he did for his sanitation business, but she always also seemed to turn a blind eye. So it was kind of willful blindness. I'm choosing not to see what I know is going on. Anyway, this is what is keeping you stuck in your life. How do you unblock yourself, Aries? If you feel like you're blocked, if you feel like things are keeping you from being your highest, truest self, what is something you can do to unblock yourself? Hangman. Well, look at that. It is basically choosing to surrender, choosing to let go, choosing to see things from another perspective, allowing yourself to gain a new perspective on the current reality. So whatever it is that's going on in your life, the way that you can unblock yourself is to either literally or figuratively hang upside down and allow your crown chakra to receive an epiphany, opening up your mind to new possibilities, to new ways of thinking. It's literally allowing the blindfold to fall off so that you can see things from all angles. The Hanged Man is a major arcana attributed to the sign of Pisces. So bringing in that water energy, that emotional energy, kind of back to the Two of Cups. At the bottom of the deck is underlying energy, and this is the world. This is literally the world. Sometimes I like to think of this as a whole new world. So underlying energy for your reading is the world, meaning that the old world is passing away and the new world is coming into being. So allowing yourself to receive a whole new energy, whatever that is. I'm going to use the When Women Had Wings just to do a clarification on all these cards. Let's first go back to what do you fear? Why is the Two of Cups here? What do you fear? And why is the Two of Cups here? For the sign of Aries, why is the Two of Cups here? Aries, Eight of Cups. There's this emotional component of knowing that there might be a little bit of fear about intermingling your energy with another, because the Eight of Cups is just a reminder, a clarification that you might be somebody that can see the writing on the wall, but doesn't walk away when you know you should. Eight of Cups is about emotional strength. And I've seen enough, I've had enough. I know that there's no longer emotional fulfillment here for me, so I'm going to leave and I'm going to go find my emotional fulfillment elsewhere because it's not here. So when you've been in unions in the past, have you been somebody that has given people way more chances than they deserve? And if so, that could be why you fear getting into a union or being in a union. And now there is this clarification that it's not scary to be with another person when you know it's time to walk away. It's time to walk away. That isn't failure. That isn't your fault. That is just, sometimes there is a fine line we have to draw in the sand. It's time to leave. Clarify the Two of Swords for why Aries could feel stuck. The Two of Swords. Why is the Two of Swords here? The High Priestess. That's more water energy, very similar to the Hanged Man. It has to do with Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. It is intuition at its finest. So you feel stuck because you're of two minds, because you have indecision, because you have two different paths you could go down. But if you trust your intuition, that stuck feeling will very quickly dissipate. The High Priestess is trusting yourself at the end of the day beyond anything else. You don't have to come to a tarot reading. You don't have to go sit and meditate all day. You don't have to go ground yourself in nature. Those are all good things. But truly and honestly, your gut, your truth, all of that is already within you. And that's all you really have to do is trust yourself. And that is number one absolutely perfect way to unstuck yourself. How do you unblock yourself? How do you unblock yourself? The Hanged Man. Why is the Hanged Man here for Aries? Three of Cups. How to unblock yourself is to see things from another perspective, is to hang yourself upside down and allow your crown chakra to have illumination, epiphany moments. And Three of Cups says also enjoy yourself. Have fun. Remember to celebrate. Remember to go out with your friends. Remember to have a drink, even if it's iced tea, but celebrate. Be joyful. Be in the moment. Have those wonderful experiences, emotional, with other people that allow you to feel joy. That's what the Three of Cups is all about. You'll be able to have a better sense of what's going on when you feel joy. The Empress is at the bottom of the deck here. The Empress is an underlying energy for our clarification, just saying that there is mother energy here, which is divine mother, which is the embodiment of all four queens. The Empress is Venus energy. So Libra, Taurus energy, those are culminating in making things beautiful. You know, when you feel stuck and you feel like, I just don't know which way to go, it could be this way or this way. Sometimes beautifying your environment or yourself, maybe you need a spa day, maybe you need to get your hair done, your nails done, maybe a massage, something that beautifies yourself, that takes care of yourself. Also, your environment, maybe giving a room an upgrade, you know, within your budget, of course, but maybe there's something aesthetically that you can do in your world so that can take your mind off of whatever it is, if you've been ruminating or consumed with certain things. This will help you. This mindset will help you to just transform into a different perspective, a new way to see things. I'm going to use Priestess of Light Oracle cards just to grab a quick Oracle card for you, Aries. For the sign of Aries, let's get a final last message. Aries. It says healing the heart, the power of self-love. That is absolutely perfect. Beautiful. This is your reading, Aries, for the week. We'll be back next week. Spicy Sunflower Tarot is on TikTok and on YouTube. And your likes and your follows, your shares, your subscribes, all of that is wonderful. Thank you for your comments. Be blessed. Be well. See you next time.